I often find myself in a dilemma, in which, on the one hand, I should go to sleep, while on the other hand, if I go to sleep on my hand will fall asleep, and that's just not very pleasant. So, Swinglish, the name of the channel, not to be confused with the name of the me, which is Vince. Hi, I'm Swedish, and here I am speaking English, for some reason. Weird language English. It's got some strange inconsistencies, kind of like my accent. But it's all very interesting. Slang, for example. Your old man is slang for your dad, and obviously that goes along with how your old lady is your wife. That's actually kind of freaky. You people are weird. And what does that make your mother? A third wheel, that's what. It's just not right. Should be fifth wheel, shouldn't it? It is in Swedish, and I suspect it used to be in English as well, but then at some point, some idiot got it wrong and it stuck. Third wheel. It's a broken metaphor. Just think about it. If you have one wheel, if you're on a unicycle, the risk of falling over is pretty big. Unless you've had lots and lots of practice, or you're some kind of natural, which doesn't seem natural to me, because I've never seen a unicycle or anything remotely similar to a unicycle growing naturally in the wild. I mean, I've seen what could be used as juggling balls grow on trees, but that's probably about as far as natural street performance tool production goes. But the reason why you need such good balance to stand on a unicycle is there are all the possible angles to fall in. I mean, you can fall to the left, to the right, forward, backward, or anywhere in between, really. The only way you can't fall is up, pretty much. Ask Newton. He wouldn't answer because he decomposed, but you can imagine what he'd say. Ow, this fucking tree just threw a juggling ball at my head. And you can forget about parking it without a corner to lean it against. The unicycle, not Newton's head. But then, if you get another wheel, you're on a bicycle, and suddenly you have two directions to fall in, left and right. That's a lot less. Unless your front wheel goes, fuck this shit, and you fly forward and die. Now you can park it against the wall or use the kickstand, provided the ground is angled just right, which it never is. Now add the third wheel, and suddenly you're on a tricycle. You barely have to use your balance at all anymore, because there's support on all sides. A tricycle stands on its own. You can stand completely still and not fall over. And if you can't, your problem is probably not too many wheels. So the third wheel's a good thing. You don't even need a wall or anything. You just jump off and it's parked. Unless there's a slope, in which case you need brakes. But the third wheel itself is nothing but help. So stop soiling the third wheel's good name. There's a reason why 3 is considered a magic number. You can't squish a triangle. And this camera is on a tripod. Now add a fourth wheel, and some shock absorbers, and a somewhat more complex steering mechanism, and engine, and stuff like that. And you're closing in on the concept of a car, which isn't likely to fall over at all, unless you put a whole lot of force into it. Or unless it's a lot taller than it's wide, but who would build such a thing? But then you get to the fifth wheel. Where are you going to put it? Do you need it at all? No, you don't. It's not going to make the car any less likely to fall over no matter where you put it. It's most likely just going to fuck up the steering. Unless it's the steering wheel, but I'm not counting that as a wheel, as it doesn't touch the ground. I just made that rule up. I can do that. It's my video. In fact, there are several places you could put the fifth wheel where it would make steering nearly impossible. Unless you put it on one of those shopping cart things that follow the motion of the car, which they never do even remotely close to perfectly anyway. Remotely close? Nothing is remotely close. Either it's remote, or it's close. Can't be both. Not at the same time. Remotely close. Near in a faraway sort of way. It's kind of like saying that something is largely small. My house is largely small. When you look at it, it's tiny, and all the rooms are tiny. But my bedroom is fucking huge. My interior decorated from Gallifrey. He's a Time Lord. If I set my alarm clock too early, I wake up in a Viking helmet. Great Mobbity Odin, that's usually not what people mean by waking up horny. And protection in bed tends to mean stuff like condoms. Well, not for me. I keep a broadsword under my pillow, just in case I might run into a band of pirates. Or a velociraptor. I have a big pillow. Almost bigger than 2 pillows! That's right. Almost bigger. It's not smaller, it's not larger, it's not the same size, it's almost bigger. What the fuck is almost bigger? What the fuck is almost bigger? What stage of dimensional flux must an object be in to be almost bigger than something else? Granted, I haven't heard that term used by anyone over the age of 10, but still. There's no point saying pointless things, no matter how largely small you are. So it's probably best I stop talking now. Signing off, I'm Vince, and I'm pretty ugly.